So I want to move on to what works. Um, with this segment, I want to talk about what works for us when it comes to
Mm.
our faith and how do we stay encouraged? How do we go lift? How do we lift up our faith? And for me, um, that scripture, now faith is the substance of things hoped for
Mm.
and the evidence of things not seen. It's really a big scripture for me that allowed me to increase my faith. Also,
Yep, yep.
so I feel like your faith can make you well.
Yeah.
Like we have the story of the woman with the issue of blood.
Yeah.
It wasn't in his plan to come to that city and heal
Yeah.
her. It was within her plan
Yeah.
to believe enough
Yeah.
to push past the crowd,
Yeah.
get on her hands and knees. And if I can just get in his facility,
Yeah.
I can hopefully
Yeah.
have the chance to get rid of what's been on me for years.
Yeah. That's good.
Something that I've already given up on, but then I heard about this man named Jesus and how this man has done this and done that and done this. So that's why I say he plays chess. A lot of these miracles was not just for the people there.
Yeah.
It was to spread the word
Yeah.
saying there's a God or there's a man out there
Yeah.
proclaiming he is the Messiah
Right.
and he is doing these works
Right.
and he's asking you to come nigh. So I don't want you guys to think that because he didn't say or give you a yes, that he's not with you. He is always with you.
If anything, I feel like that's an indication that he is with you and that he did hear you because he's like, I gave you the answer. It may not be the answer you wanted and it hurt it would hurt in that situation, but later you realize you did that out of love. You did that to protect me. You did that because you love me. And if anybody has children, you don't just give your children everything they want cuz you know some things will hurt them. Our pastor says like the wrong thing, the right thing at the wrong time could like really hurt you. You know, if
Exactly.
you get the thing you really want at this exact moment but you're not ready for it, it could become a burden instead of a blessing. So even just looking at it like that, not wanting anything more than we just want to accept God's love. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? What you just said? You know how, like how do I continue believing in God if he doesn't answer
Mhm.
my prayer? How did you how did you continue to trust that your mom was going to still love you even though she told you no?
That's good.
How did you
That's
know
really
that
good.
your boss or whoever you has ever had authority over you and you've asked them for something and they said no? Why did you continue to rock
That's
with them?
good.
If you can believe that mom still loves you when she said no, it's because you trusted that she knew what was best.
Yeah.
Same thing with God.
That's
But for some
good.
reason, we write him off because we can't really put a tangible face or
That's
sound
good.
to him. So we just think that, well, I don't really need him in my life because he's not here affecting my life.
Mhm.
So I don't have to whatever. But I need my mama.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to rock with
That's
her. But
really
it's like
good.
you need God more than anything. And that sometimes is what we get lost in. But
That's
I don't want to
good.
say too long with
That's
this one
really
question.
good. That's good.
So I want to move on to what works. Um, with this segment, I want to talk about what works for us when it comes to
Mm.
our faith and how do we stay encouraged? How do we go lift? How do we lift up our faith? And for me, um, that scripture, now faith is the substance of things hoped for
Mm.
and the evidence of things not seen. It's really a big scripture for me that allowed me to increase my faith. Also, the scripture that saved my life, Psalms 91. Um, um, oh Jesus, did I have a brain fart just now? He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High
Mm.
shall abide under the shadows of the Almighty. I will say unto the Lord, He is
Mm.
my refuge, my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust.
Yeah.
That scripture was one of the few scriptures that my mama made me learn that I understood at a young age.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadows of the Almighty. All of that is telling me that I'm covered by something.
That's good.
Then it says, I will say unto the Lord, He's my refuge, my fortress. A refuge, a fortress, those are things meant to protect from an outside
Yeah.
source. And in Him will I trust.
Yeah.
So not only am I covered, but I'm protected, and I have to trust Him with that.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes of when it comes to your faith walk because time and time again, I've been through a lot, but it hasn't taken me out.
Mm.
I've been through a lot, but it's only made me better or stronger.
That's good.
I've been through hell and back, but I'm only the person I am today because of the things that I went through.
Right.
And if a lot of times while you're in the storm, you don't understand it until you can look back and see
Yeah.
yourself out.
Yeah.
Now I know what you were doing, because
Yeah.
it's not really meant for us to know.
Yeah.
Because what's the point of faith if we know our future?
Yeah.
What's the point of believing if we already know?
It's good.
Faith is the substance of things
You
hoped
hope
for
for.
and the evidence of things not seen.
Can't see it.
So you gotta hope for it and
Yeah.
you don't see it.
Yeah.
That means you ain't supposed to know.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those situations where it's like, that is what works for me. Those two scriptures there, and again, knowing that he's gonna give me a yes,
Mm-hmm.
I have something better,
Mm-hmm.
or not yet.
That's good.
And how he continues to do that in my life. And I've seen it not only in my life, but in my wife's life and everyone else connected to me. He's continued to do that. And he has not failed me or left me or nor forsaken me.
Amen.
And that's how I can stand on faith and really increase. But I want to know what works for the faith-filled friend, uh, the faith effect woman herself. What works for you when it comes to faith?
Honestly, those two things, the faith effect, which is that ripple effect of faith. So, me starting just stepping out on faith, and the more I do it, seeing that God is with me, and then being in a community of friends, faith filled friends, that's going to change your life. Being around other believers, people who believe in God, but also want to see you win. Like, I remember when I was just doing it by myself, it was like, okay, I could kind of encourage myself, but there are seasons where I'm not encouraged at all, but my friends will come along and speak a word. And so you mentioned your story was the woman with the issue of blood, but mine is in Luke 5. There's a story about a paralyzed man, and their friends lifted him up, and there was no way to get inside of the room.
Right.
So they made a hole in the roof and they lowered him. That's how committed his friends were to seeing his deliverance, to seeing him healed. And so when you get in a community of friends who are that committed to seeing you delivered and seeing you healed, why wouldn't Jesus do it? He says in line 20, he says, Jesus saw their faith. So it was like a collective group. It wasn't just that one person's faith. And so getting in a room, allowing other people to see your faith, I wonder what that did to the people who were just watching that, the witnesses who were already in the room, because the reason why people couldn't get in is because it was so crowded. So don't ever think there's no way for you to get to Jesus. Like, your friends, they'll make a way. Like, so get in a community with people who are committed to seeing you really transformed and changed in God.
Yeah,
That's what works.
that's very beautiful, actually. I loved all of that. That was really great. Thanks for watching Growth on Purpose podcast, aka GOP with GOD. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified of all future content.